my name is Valerie Knopik with Yoga Medicine. I have a PhD in psychology and I'm a professor of human development and family studies at Purdue University. Today I'd like to talk with you a little bit about the stress response. So understanding the stress response is really important. I think it's really important because most of us live in this kind of world where we're under chronic stress. We no longer live in Neanderthal days or caveman days where the only stressors that we might experience might be if we are being attacked by an animal or needing to run for our lives. Now we are under these kind of low-grade stressors most of the time. So things like our job responsibilities, financial responsibilities, family and personal responsibilities, all of these things kind of add on to the load that's placed onto our system on a daily basis. And even things like constantly checking your phone, being on social media, that need to be constantly on or available at all times can add a lot of pressure to our system. And the word stress really means this aspect or this kind of outwardly pressure on our system that creates some kind of tension or distress, whether it's a psychological tension or distress or physiological tension or distress that we cannot seem to manage with the resources that we have available to us. So stress is this imbalance between the demand that's placed on our system and the resources that we actually have to manage that demand on our system. Most of us live a little bit out of balance with regard to the demand and our resources available. And when that happens, we initially have a very normal stress response. Our endocrine system kicks in, our nervous system kicks in, and research even now says that our skeletal system actually kicks in to create this stress response that is meant to be really adaptable in our lives. But when we're under chronic stress all of the time, our body can only maintain that resistance to the stressor for a certain amount of time before we go into a state of exhaustion or burnout, or what stress researchers might call allostatic load, which is kind of the overall wear and tear, the cost, if you will, of being under extreme stress for a long period of time. And maybe it's not a big extreme stressor, maybe it's just an accumulation of a lot of little things that add up that we need to manage on a day-to-day basis. And so today I'm going to take you through a technique that's actually meant to balance out the nervous system. Because when we're in chronic stress, we tend to live in the sympathetic nervous system. That's our fight or flight mode, which again is a very normal response to being under stress. But if we live in it all the time, we get out of balance. So the intention here is to bring the parasympathetic nervous system back into play. So in the technique that I'm going to show you, I'll be encouraging you to tap into your breath. But we're also going to take some very simple and relaxing movements that are meant to be deeply calming and relaxing. And the intention here is to really bring that parasympathetic nervous system back into balance and feel a sense of ease and almost a soothing quality to the movement, so that when you're finished, you're relaxed, you're calm. And the really cool thing about these movements is they're accessible to everyone. So let's take a moment, we're going to get onto our mats and I'll lead you through a quick technique on how to bring your parasympathetic nervous system back into play to even out your nervous system in response to stress. So come down onto your backs here with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, back of the skull resting. And just take a moment here to pause. Maybe have your hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Notice your breath. And maybe with your breath, notice this kind of washing of the breath over the back of the throat. Almost as if you have a slight restriction at the back of your throat. And then from here, keep your left foot on the floor and we're going to cross our right leg all the way over the left as if you were seated in a chair. And just let the right foot be relaxed and soft. You don't have to take the double bind or anything like that. And then we're also going to create an arm position where we're going to give ourselves a hug. Now take the left arm on top and just kind of work to grab around the backs of the shoulders without it being too forceful. So both of your elbows are pointed right up towards the ceiling. The first part of the movement is just going to be the legs. So take an inhale here in the center, and on the exhale, let your knees drop over to the right about a third of the way. So we're not going into a full spinal twist. Inhale, bring the knees right back to center. We're going to repeat that a few more times. Exhale, take the knees over to the right about a third of the way. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, knees drop to the right, third of the way. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees drop to the right. Inhale, back to center. And one more like that. Exhale, knees drop to the right, just a little bit. And then inhale, come back to center. Now we're also going to add the elbows this time. So take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale here in the center. And on your exhale, let your knees drop to the right and try to move your elbows to the left. It's going to be a small movement, but the elbows and knees are moving in opposite directions. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Exhale, knees drop to the right, elbows move to the left. Inhale, bring everything back to center. We're going to do 3 more. Exhale, knees to the right, elbows to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, knees to the right, elbows to the left. Inhale, come back to center. This will be our last one. Exhale, knees to the right, elbows to the left. Inhale, come back to center, and pause here. Take a breath out. One full round of breath. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're also going to add the head. So everything else is going to stay the same, but now we're also going to add some head movement. So take a breath in here in the center. And on your exhale, knees drop right, elbows move left, and look to your right. So your legs and your head go in the same direction. Inhale, bring everything back to center. We're going to do a few more like that. Exhale, knees to the right, elbows to the left, look to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, knees to the right, elbows to the left, look to the right. Inhale, back to center. 2 more. Exhale, knees to the right, elbows to the left, look to the right. Inhale, back to center. This will be our last one. Exhale, knees to the right, elbows to the left, and look to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Uncross your limbs, let both feet and both arms find the floor, and just take a moment to pause. Notice your breath. Feel the breath washing over the back of the throat. Soften the muscles around the eyes, the ears, the jaw. And then we'll take the same series of movement on the other side. So begin to cross your left thigh over the right, letting the left lower leg be relaxed. Cross the arms so that the right arm is on top here. You're giving yourself a hug. Elbows are generally pointed up in the direction of the ceiling. Back of the skull is resting. And we'll start with just the legs. So take an inhale here in the center. Exhale, knees drop to the left. Again, just about a third of the way. So you're not going into a full spinal twist. It's a gentle movement. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Exhale, knees drop to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, knees to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees to the left. Inhale, back to center. And do one last one like that. Exhale, knees to the left. Inhale, come back to center, pause. Exhale the breath out. One full round of breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to add the arms as well. So take a breath in the center. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows reach right. Again, it's a small movement. Inhale, everything back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows reach right. Inhale, back to center. A few more like that. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right. Inhale, back to center. One last one like that. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right. Inhale, come back to center, maintain the position, but just pause. Exhale the breath out. Take a full round of breath. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to add the head as well. So take a breath here in the center. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right, look to the left. So the head goes the same direction as the knees. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right, look to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Few more. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right, look to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right, look to the left. Inhale, back to center. One last round. Exhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right, and look to the left. Inhale, everything back to center. Exhale, unravel the limbs. Both feet to the floor, both arms to the floor. Pause and notice. Bring your right hand to your belly, left hand to your heart, and just notice the movement that your body makes as you take the breath in and out. And notice the beating of your own heart. Feel softness around the eyes and the ears and the jaw. And notice what just these subtle, gentle, repetitive movements, notice the reaction or the response that your body has created. These small movements can be incredibly soothing to the nervous system and to kind of retrain our brain to soften around all the tension that we tend to hold in our bodies as a result of stress in our lives and kind of the burdens that we carry. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you found this technique and just this little bit of insight into your stress response and your nervous system helpful and useful. And I invite you, if you're interested, to join me and Diane Malaspina and Tiffany Cruikshank and the yoga medicine team to learn more about this approach and other aspects to balance out the nervous system and to increase your mental health and well-being at the mental health module.